Hello everybody, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today's video is going to be about Palantir, but this is going to be a very specific use case of Palantir to showcase exactly what Palantir does better than what anybody else does. And I'm going to give you a specific use case. There's a company called Jacobs Solutions. Jacobs Solutions is a massive company that has over 55,000 employees. They are listed on the stock exchange and they have a market cap of over $15 billion. And they've been around for 3/4 of a century at 75 years. And Jacobs Solutions, very, very simple. I'll get into it in just a moment. They're an engineering company that companies hire to do a digital transformation and make you more efficient. Now, Jacobs works with Palantir. There's a couple of things that the lead Jacobs engineer director was saying, and there's a video that came out. It's a 5-minute video. I don't want to bore you with this video. I'm only going to play a 2-minute clip at the end of this video because they specifically explain the digital twin of Palantir. They literally talk about the digital twin in this video. But I'm going to give you some key points. Proactive, not reactive.
Reactive mode to a proactive mode. Today, most plant operations run incredibly reactively. They find out that a machine breaks because it's actually happened in the real world, or they find out at the end of the month that their production numbers were lackluster. In order to move to a proactive world so that you can actually improve performance, you need to first break down data silos across your ERP, your maintenance system, grab your sensor data.
And that's the difference between everybody who's a competitor of Palantir and actually Palantir. While the other competitors of Palantir can take your data across a specific field and give you that data regurgitated in some way, shape, or form. Palantir takes the data completely over everything that you're doing in multiple different dimensions and multiple different fields. They don't just regurgitate your data, but they take your data and they preemptively process and try to give you an answer that you're looking for before you're asking that question. And that's the key here. Proactive, not reactive. And in this use case that I'm going to go over in just a moment, the engineer literally says, hey, we already have a super productive plant, and they give like a specific use case. And even though it was already a highly productive plant, we were able to squeeze out an extra 20% of efficiency. And this was already a highly efficient plant. And he says, the way we did this is to give you proactive, not reactive measures. And that's the complete difference between Palantir and Snowflake, Palantir, Datadog, Palantir, C3 AI, Palantir, and every single person and company else, including Microsoft, Amazon, Google, so on and so forth. Palantir for the win all the time. Now, if you ever saw yourself asking the question, why am I investing in Palantir? Or if you ever asked yourself the question, should I invest in Palantir? What is their edge against anybody else in the field? Well, then I think that you're going to get a shit ton of information in this specific video because this is specifically not just some YouTuber regurgitating things. This is literally me highlighting something that Jacobs, which is one of the leading engineering firms in the world, is talking about. Specifically, Palantir is going to explain how they are proactive and not reactive. So you're going to get a lot of information from this video. If this is something you could get behind, please do yourself a favor. Sit back, relax, grab your coffee. And before we go any further, if you guys know I have a crypto channel, if you watch me for The Adam Bergman Show, that channel is hacked. I now have a new crypto channel. It's called The Berg V2. I'm going to leave a link to it down below. That channel's hacked. C'est la vie. I lost 15,000 subscribers and I'm building up a new channel. So if you follow me on crypto, definitely hit the link down below. And while you're down there, give me the like, share, subscribe for this video. Without further ado, let's get right into this next video. This is nearly a 6-minute video that was put out by Palantir. I'm going to leave a link down below. I don't want to just play the video, but this guy right here is called John Rickerman, and he's the engineering managing director at Jacobs. He goes on to talk about a plant, Aqua Nueva, the new water. And this power plant is a water filtration plant, right? They take water, they clean it, so on and so forth. He says that this plant to begin with was already highly efficient. He says before using Palantir. He says after using Palantir, we were able to get an extra 20% efficiency. But he goes like, this is not on a plant that was shit. He says this plant was already considered top of the line, highly, highly efficient, and we were able to squeeze out 20% more in productivity. And then he explains the reason why, because everybody's like, well, how is that possible? Is he says that Palantir is able to bring something to the field that was not here before Palantir. Palantir brings something called proactivity instead of reactivity, which means before something breaks, before you get the results, before something can go wrong, Palantir comes up with an answer, okay? Let's say you have, and they say that the main thing that they're working is turbines. Turbines is the main electrical force in this plant. And again, you guys can watch the video on your own. And he says these turbines, instead of seeing when you need to use them or when not to use them or when they're using too much energy, this is a reactive. You're reacting to something and then you're making your decisions. He says with Palantir, you can proactively, before it gets maxed out, know when to use it, when not to use it, and maybe tweak it here and there. And this is a specific example that they're giving. They said that they were able to take per million gallons, it used to cost them 2,000 kilowatts an hour. They were able to reduce from 2,000 kilowatts an hour for filtration of 1 million gallons to 1,500 kilowatts per hour. Now I'm going to quote this guy, John, and John literally says, Palantir is able to save us as a company, Jacobs, millions of dollars, and they're able to save our customers multi-tens of millions of dollars. John literally says with Palantir, we're able to know when something's going to happen before it actually happens. And we get all this information in real time so we can make predictive associations and make predictive planning in order to maximize. He says this is literally how we're able to squeeze even more efficiency out of the most efficiency that we have. Now, Jacobs deals with a lot of different companies, and they literally says that we can apply this to city services, transportations, environmental services, construction, and so much more. In this video, and I'm going to play it in just a moment, Palantir is going to explain how they do this. They're literally going to go over the digital twin, and that's only going to be a quick 2-minute video. And finally, John is saying that with Palantir, we have a custom tailored application within our data platform. He says, with Palantir Data Science, our operations can perform predictive operations. These predictive operations were not available before Palantir. And now with Palantir, they are most certainly available. One more thing, Palantir is able to get into your database and they send you information as needed for specific times. For example, they have bi-weekly meetings. So Palantir is gathering all of this data, and besides for always uploading the data, for the meeting, they're giving you specific data that they understand that you need. They then take all of this data, they give it to the actual field operators, and the field operators is the reason and how they're making the plant more efficient. And they do all of this through a digital twin where they're consistently taking out all of this data and figuring out the best ways of doing something. I know what I'm saying is super confusing and it's a lot of information, but I rather have gave you my own abbreviation than giving you a boring video. The link of the video is going to be down below. I do want to play you a quick 2-minute clip that I cannot avoid. This 2-minute clip is going to explain to you in Palantir's own words the actual digital twin. And I know a couple of you guys have been asking me, Adam, can you give us an example of the digital twin? Well, right now is going to be that class and example.
Let's walk through how we did it.
First, we integrated real-time sensor data into Foundry using the OPCUA connector, one of the 200 plus out-of-the-box connectors available with Foundry. Using other data connectors, we can also connect to lab sample data, CMMS data, and ERP data. Next, once in the platform, the various data streams are cleaned on schedules and transformed into standardized, easily interpretable data models, or an ontology. The sensor data is then run through Joshua's process model to make real-time predictions on ammonia levels in the aeration basins. These predictions are then compared against required compliance levels and mapped into simple, human-readable emails recommending updated set points for the blowers. After an action is taken in the real world, the same sensor data streams also capture the real-world performance data. Should the site be experiencing any extenuating circumstances, the operator is also able to reject the notification and provide rich text feedback for the process engineers to review later, allowing the folks on the ground to remain in ultimate control of their plants. Finally, using the same live ontology in Foundry, we can track operator usage, electricity consumption, operator feedback, and model error and drift, all from a single screen across a fleet of sites and models.
Guys, as you can see, Palantir is an absolute beast. Palantir is literally changing the way we're doing so many different games in so many different fields. As I said, if you go to Palantir's website, when I first started covering them, they had like 20 different fields. Then they had 30, then 40. Now they have 50 different fields. Next week is going to be the Palantir's earnings. I cannot wait for the Palantir earnings. Maybe they're actually going to have a small beat. Who knows what's going to happen? On November 7th, which is going to be this coming Thursday, next week Thursday, we're going to have a powwow. We're going to be getting together in New York City. Our boy Ether Squared is coming from Europe. Our man Ahmed is coming from New Jersey, which is even further than Europe. And we're going to be meeting up in New York City. If anybody wants to meet up, it's going to be like a Palantir meetup. There's a bar, and you guys can just join us. Everybody is welcome. We're going to have a grand old time. There's going to be a lot of drinking and fun stuff and laughing. And, we're just going to be talking a lot of shit, talking a lot of Palantir. Guys, please, if you guys want to know about crypto, link down below to my crypto channel as well. Thank you so much. And while you're down there, give me the likes, the share, subscribe. And don't forget, hit the bell notification because next week I got an absolutely massive Palantir video and you don't want to miss it. If you cannot wait until next week for that massive Palantir video, click the link up above where I go over the Palantir earnings of what I think is going to happen. And if you cannot wait until next week and this video up here is not enough, please try to click on one of these videos. These videos is definitely going to quench your thirst when it comes to Palantir until next week. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your weekend.